Amy Rose is a very important Sonic character. Important in the sense that she's a timeline-breaking character. I say that because if she had never existed, the world that Sonic knew would be gone. As much as Amy has been a topic of controversy when it comes to the Sonic characters, Amy's core qualities have always remained, and one of those key things about her character has been love. Amy is the personification of love, and when you look at her character and her interactions with the other Sonic characters, that is very evident and very clear. Her compassion and her love for living things and not sentient beings has been very influential to their character arcs and their stories. And today, I want to hit on why Amy Rose is very important and also talk about what the timeline would look like if Amy Rose had not existed. Okay, so I'm not even kidding. I literally put together a timeline to explain what I mean. The timeline is actually cut very short. So I'm going to try my best to make this really interesting, but it just kind of proves how damn important Amy is. And you'll see what I mean when I show the timeline. Amy's first game appearance was in Sonic CD. And she doesn't really play that big of a role, but she is prominent in the story of the game. She is captured by Metal Sonic, which Sonic then chases after Metal Sonic to save Amy. I think either way, Sonic would have pursued Metal and been on Little Planet. I don't think Amy being captured really is a catalyst for him going to Little Planet. I think that would have been the case either way if Amy wasn't there. So for now, the timeline is intact. Without Amy's presence, Sonic goes on like he usually does. Now in Sonic Adventure 1, Amy befriends a Flicky, and instead of her going ahead and reuniting this Flicky with her family, at first she asked Sonic if he would be able to do that for her, which he is not in favor of, and he's not very excited about it. So what I would think is Sonic would not have quote-unquote wasted his time on a Flicky reuniting it with his family. So in this timeline, Gamma would not have been reunited with his other Flicky family along with that Flicky, and Gamma would not have went about destroying the other E-series mechs. And the whole point of that was for Gamma to release the Flickies from their metal prisons. So without Amy, I believe in this timeline, Gamma would not gain sentience, and he would continue being an E-series mech and working for Eggman alongside the other mechs as well. We could argue that either Sonic or Tails would destroy the E-series robots and the Flickies would be released, but we can't guarantee that. It's more focused on Chaos and Eggman and stuff like that. That's like his main mission. Also, I did forget, he did try to destroy Gamma, and Amy stepped in front of him and told him that no, that's her friend. So probably, yeah, he would release the Flicky, but I don't know about the other ones. So it would just be that Gamma's Flicky would be released and the Flicky would not be reunited with its family. In this timeline, Gamma would still be an E-series mech for Eggman, and the Flickies would not be reunited as a family. So that kind of sucks. So moving on to Sonic Adventure 2, this is when the timeline just officially ends. So Amy kind of takes a back seat in the whole story. Amy kind of takes a back seat there, but she plays a very important role when it comes to the final story and talking to Shadow. All throughout this time, everybody has just been seeing Shadow as an obstacle, and Sonic has not really thought much about what is going on with Shadow. He just sees them as like, oh, that's my enemy and I need to just get past him. And same with the other characters. They don't really mind Shadow all that much. They just know that he's an obstacle that needs to be dealt with. So Amy decides at that point to give Shadow some humanity and treat him with an ounce of respect. All throughout the whole story, nobody has really minded him. So Amy pleading to him and asking him to help them save Earth, help them save the world, and give people a chance. That, of course, we all know what happens. That, of course, reminds Shadow of his promise to Maria. Now, if Amy was not here, the timeline would just be done at this point. Maybe it's a little insulting to say that maybe Shadow wouldn't be reminded in some other way or something, I don't know, but we all know how important Amy is at this time. We know that she reminded Shadow, and if Shadow was not reminded, the Earth would just be done. And that is what would happen here. Shadow would remain a villain. He would still not remember his actual true promise to Maria, and everybody would fucking die. But okay, if that was the case, then let's give this timeline the benefit of the doubt. So the next game that Amy would make an appearance in would be Sonic Heroes, but she's not here, and if surprisingly maybe Sonic and Tails and Knuckles were to survive, if any characters were to survive for that matter, then the timeline would carry on in, I believe, a different planet. I don't know where they would go, but I'm not sure. I'm literally just throwing shit out there because at this point, it's just not, you can't even determine where the story would go. So I'm going to brush past Sonic Heroes and we're going to go to Shadow the Hedgehog. Amy makes an appearance in Shadow the Hedgehog. But if Shadow remains alive, that would mean he would join the Black Arms then. Once the Black Arms finally comes and visits Earth, tries to take over Earth and their invasion, sadly there is nothing to invade anymore. They do not have the humans to feed off of. So I would assume in this timeline, if Shadow was to survive, he would join forces with the Black Arms and he would be alongside them as their strongest ally. So Shadow would remain a villain, and that means he would probably try to inhabit and conquer other planets alongside the Black Arms. Now Sonic 06 is self-explanatory. That's the other game that Amy makes an appearance in. Elise wouldn't exist because she would be dead. All humans were dead, and so there would be no Flames of Iblis, there would be no Disaster, there would be no Mephiles. You get the point. No Ruined Future, no Silver, no Blaze, whatever. You get the point. So, yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? I made this timeline to just point out how much Amy has influenced these characters. And if she wasn't there, there would literally be no other story of Sonic to tell. Because if the timeline was to stop with Sonic Adventure 2, we would not have anything then. So again, like I explained in the timeline, these certain characters would not have a redemption arc or would have a continuation of their story if it wasn't for Amy being there and showing them love and showing them compassion. Gamma would not have gained sentience and learned what it meant to have a connection, have a real connection with others and have a friendship and have that bond. He would not be able to find that if Amy was not there. He would have just remained another robot following Eggman's commands and demands and following his orders. And her showing humanity to Shadow and reaching out to him and asking him and pleading to him to help when nobody had done so. That whole time, she was the only one to stand there and actually talk to him and have a conversation with him and show him a sense of respect. And because of that, Shadow looks at Amy pretty fondly in every single game. I mean, there was a thread on Twitter where somebody was composing different voice lines of Shadow talking to Amy or all that stuff, interacting with Amy, and he's very sweet to her, and I find that so fucking cute. And I think that just comes back to Amy showing him some compassion when nobody else did. And because of that, he looks at Amy very fondly. And so like that with Silver. If Amy was not there, like I said in my Blaze and Silver video, Silver had Sonic down multiple times. And I believe if Amy wasn't there, something really bad would have happened to Sonic. Or, I don't know, you know, Sonic may have been able to recover or whatever, but something would have happened. Either he would have been badly injured or just literally destroyed. And if Amy wasn't there to say that she would choose Sonic over the world if it came down to that, that wouldn't have led to Silver questioning his own mission. It wouldn't have Silver questioning if that was the right thing to do. And that specific moment of Silver sitting down at the harbor and questioning that is very important to his character growth and his character arc. And if he did not have that, he would still be so headstrong. And yeah, he would probably destroy Sonic, and that would just destroy the future. So Mephiles would get what he would want. But also, Amy showing compassion for just other kind of minor characters, minor things. Like with the recent game of Sonic Frontiers, Amy still has her compassion and love showing. Regardless of what you think about how her character is written there, the moment of her helping the Coco and helping that one Coco be reunited with their true love, and her taking the time to do that, even even though she was stuck in her cyberspace form, she isn't completely worried about her first. She's worried about reuniting the Coco with their true love. Also, even when we are not talking about antagonists when it comes to games, or like the background characters, when we talk about the main Sonic cast, Amy also has impacted the other characters too, which I think is very clear, and that's why she has such a close bond with majority of them. Amy is able to keep up with Sonic, and Sonic is fine with that. Amy matches Sonic's energy, even if they can overstimulate each other sometimes or overwhelm each other. Sonic and Amy do match energies. Sonic and Amy complement each other very well. If Sonic is the guy to promote freedom to people and tell them to do what they think is right, then Amy is the glue that holds people together and shows people that they can be compassionate to people and change people. And even if Amy does overstimulate Sonic sometimes, bro is definitely one to talk, because Sonic can be overstimulating sometimes too. And also, Amy has leadership qualities. She is able to hold down the fort and lead a group of characters. Amy also defends her friends. She is not afraid to stand up to someone who is teasing her friends or making fun of them or doubting their skills. And she does this all the time with Sonic, about how Sonic deserves to be cheered for, deserves to be acknowledged about his accomplishments. She is his biggest cheerleader, and I genuinely don't think he minds that. I think Sonic likes having cheerleaders, and I think he is fine with Amy being his cheerleader. Amy knows what makes her friends special, makes her acquaintances special, and she's able to break that down to a T. And within interactions, you can tell that she genuinely does care about the things that her friends do have to offer. But at Amy's core, down in her center, is love and passion. And you don't even have to look at her personality to understand that this is very telling. If we dissect Amy's color scheme, her colors and her color palette actually say a lot about her character from the jump. Pink symbolizes love, nurture, and compassion. And that is Amy's prominent color. And that makes complete sense, of course. Amy is compassionate, and once again, her center is love. Red is also prominent in Amy's color palette, and red symbolizes passion and desire. And, well, Amy has a whole song called My Sweet Passion, which is talking about Sonic. So of course, that kind of ties in. And desire, which once again, her desire for adventure. She likes to chase Sonic because everywhere that Sonic goes, he's on an adventure. The color white can symbolize purity, innocence, or blankness. And I think with the color white, I think more so it would be Amy's innocence and just her infatuation with Sonic and how innocent that is, just being so obsessed over someone that you idolize and not seeing their wrongs because you just can only perceive them as good or perfect. So I think that's how it ties in, but I don't know. I'm not the person who designed Amy, but this is just my assumption. Amy's character challenges the other characters in Sonic. It challenges their thought processes and their basis of morality. What I hope going forward, and with the way that they write Amy, what I hope is that they continue with her core being love. And they can have her be in love with Sonic simultaneously as she shows love to everybody around the world. She says in Sonic Frontiers that she wants to share that love with the world, which she already has done through the other Sonic characters. I don't think she needs to be separated completely in order to continue doing what she has already been doing. Amy can still be Amy without being separated from the core cast of characters. When I say that Amy doesn't need to leave to be doing the same thing that she's been doing the whole time, I mean specifically when I talk about the characters that I just talked about and her impacting them through her show of love for the earth, her show of love for Sonic, for nature, its living things, animals and creatures, and non-sentient beings, especially robots. I think what is so cool about Amy's character is she respects machines as much as she respects living things too. Anyway, there's been a a lot of discourse about Amy's character, which is very valid. I think Amy has been mishandled in a lot of games, and other games her character is at its best. But especially with the way that the current Sonic story is going to go, and especially with how laid back her character was in Frontiers, but every character was laid back in Frontiers, I hope that we can come back to Amy's bubbliness, come back to her energetic nature, because she does share that with Sonic in a different kind of way, her energy, and I hope we can get that back because I really like that part of her character. I hope as well them continuing forward, they can keep that love aspect of her in a very important place. That is what Amy adds to the group. That is what Amy adds to the cast. Also, fun fact, the name Amy actually means beloved. So it kind of be a crime to completely go against her name and her character. I may have been a little convoluted in this video, but Amy's my second favorite Sonic character, so I wanted to at least make a video on her and talk about her personality and what would happen if she was not existent in the Sonic universe. I know, like, if she wasn't made or whatever, like, you know, they'd still have a Sonic story, but I'm talking about, like, she does exist. So if she wasn't in the Sonic timeline, if she was removed, how that would affect all of the characters. And I hope I made it very clear how broken the timeline would be if Amy was not there. Something that I love about the Sonic cast is we have very strong female characters. They add to their male counterparts when it comes to the cast, and they complement each other very well. I don't think many of the girl Sonic characters live in any of the other characters' shadows, and I think it's nice that a lot of these characters, especially when it comes to Rouge and Blaze, they have a very close bond and friendship with their designated guy partner characters or whatever. I don't know how to really explain that, but you get what I'm saying. Especially younger girls or younger female presenting people to look up to, needing a girl character to look up to. I think it's very nice that they have provided us with characters that can do that. And Amy is definitely one of those characters. And the older I get, the more I relate to Amy, because she is just unapologetically herself and she does not care what other people think. And I think that is so cute about her. To end off this video, I have to say the growth that this channel has had is absolutely crazy. I honestly did not think my last video about Maria and disability and Shadow, I did not think that it would blow up as much as it did. But I look at all the comments and I see people relating, especially with their own experiences when it comes to disability or knowing people that had disability, or people even sharing that they've learned something from the video. I did not know it was going to do so well, and I did not know that so many people would resonate with it. And I am so surprised just seeing that, and that's amazing. And all I have to say is thank you so much, y'all. Like, I honestly don't know what I do. Like, I just ramble about Sonic characters. I don't even edit really well. Like, honestly, I'm a perfectionist, so sometimes when I'm talking, I don't think I'm hitting on the key points as much as I would like to, but the fact that people still get what I'm trying to say is amazing. Anyway, thank you for subscribing and liking my videos and wanting to keep watching my content. It's great. Y'all are fantastic. I have a couple more ideas when it comes to certain Sonic characters and talking about them and having character commentaries. I wouldn't even know if I would call these analysis videos. It's literally just me gushing over characters and not really, like, I don't know, like, not really digging deep into like specific moments or whatever. But even if I do that, being shown that people still want to listen to me is just makes me so happy. I don't think you all understand. It makes me so happy. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope I was able to explain how important Amy Rose is as a character to everyone watching. I hope you have a good day, and I hope you have a good night. Bye-bye.